Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. For today's video, I'm going to be ranking all the eyeshadow palettes that I tried in the month of May. I cannot believe it's already June. It just blows my mind how fast this year is going. So I have got 8 indie brand eyeshadow palettes to rank for you all today. So if you like indie brands, if you like eyeshadow palettes, eyeshadow palette rankings, make sure you are subscribed. I do these videos every single month, and stick around for today's video because they're all good palettes, guys. All good palettes. It just makes it so difficult. Literally every single one of these palettes could be at the #1 spot. This ranking is probably one of the most difficult that I have done so far. I told y'all last month, I was like, you know what, I may not even have a May rankings. I just recently had my baby girl, so I was like, I'm probably not going to be buying makeup, wearing makeup this month. I've been buying makeup and wearing makeup, literally wearing makeup every single day, and as you can see, I have got quite the makeup in front of me. So it's just so funny how that all worked out. Like, it literally blew my mind. It's just so funny how that works out. Okay, so coming in at number 8, this is from Nomad Cosmetics, and I picked this up during the Sephora sale during, what was it, April or March? What in the world? I don't know when it was. I think it was April. I played with this all of April, and then I played with it into May as well. But I wanted this palette for so long, and then all of a sudden it popped up on Sephora. It was discounted, and then like I had 20% off, and then it was like discounted off of that. It was insane. I got this for like 20 something dollars. I call this the butterfly palette because I cannot pronounce the name of it, but this is no longer available. But I'm very, very grateful that I was able to snag this during the sale. I've recently come to love Melt this year. I know everyone's kind of like over Melt, but I'm recently I'm recently fallen in love with the brand. So I really wanted to get this one. I love butterflies too. I love these color stories. I'm typically like a neutral lover, but I swear like most neutral lovers love pops of green and purples. And this palette is so fun for that. Let me know if you're a neutral lover. Do you like greens and purples? Like, low-key, let me know. Okay, so I will say that this palette, these two shades kind of bug me. They're almost identical. Like, you cannot tell a difference, so that's repetitive. I was like, huh. And then the matte formula, it's really pigmented, but it takes a little bit extra time to blend. I will say that. So not the easiest formula, but it's still like max pigmentation I have found. The shimmers in here, they're not my favorite. They're nice. They're just nothing to like blow your skirt up, but they do perform well. And something I did notice that these greens right here, the matte shades pick up kind of blue on my skin tone, like almost like a teal blue versus like a foresty green. I don't know. It just, obviously if you mix the shimmers in, it completely turns it blue. But yeah, I do like this palette, and I'm so happy that I finally have it. And yeah, I love it, and I'm very grateful. Like, it just popped up and I was like, I've already placed 3 Sephora orders, but like, what's a 4th one, you know? Okay, so coming in at number 7, this is from Give Me Glow Cosmetics. This is a Pastel Dreams palette. I wanted this for quite some time also, and they did a 30% off sale on their website. I was like, dang it. Like, my husband's not going to believe me. Like, y'all have to stop doing all these good sales. He's like, what, another palette that you've been wanting for so long that's limited edition, or one that's, not coming back? I'm like, maybe. Anyways, this Pastel Dreams palette is really, really nice. I love the mattes. I love the shimmers. I love using these 3 shades as blushes. The only like complaint I have about this palette, all these palettes are so good. I'm trying to be really nitpicky and find a complaint or a con, if you will. So I will say that the peach and the pink, they're very similar once you get them on the eye. It's like you can't really differentiate which peach pink you use. They kind of look the same. I mean, there's a little bit of a difference, but I just wish this one or this one of them had more saturation, like more peachy or more pinky. I don't know. I'm just like being nitpicky, but honestly, they perform great. Love them. And this purple right here is so pretty. Anyways, yeah, I really do adore this palette, and I've looked at it for so long, so I'm so happy that I have it, and I have been having lots of fun with this palette. I'm typically not one that like goes crazy for pastel looks, but I don't know who I am right now. Like, I've been loving all the pastels, especially in my inner corner. I feel like that's a trend. Like, if you put a neon or like pastel in your inner corner, yeah, it's very popular right now. So let's see, coming in at number 6, this is from, let's see, Simply Posh Cosmetics. This is a Citrus Punch palette. This one was sent to me, and then this one right here, the next one, sneak peek, the Nomad Cosmetics palette was sent to me. Other than that, everything else I purchased myself. Anyways, this one right here got me in my feels. I have been craving a palette with this color story, just like those bright, fun, neon, bright, bold colors for summer. Whenever Melt came out with like their new palette, Electrip or whatever, I thought it was going to be more like this. And I was kind of disappointed, but now I'm super happy that I got this one in my life because it is so nice. I love how Simply Posh organizes their palettes, and I know it may look kind of the same tones, but they are a little different, I will say. I've been loving using these as blushes. I've been loving, for whatever reason, doing all matte looks. Like, what? Who am I? But I have been doing that with this palette. The shimmers are beautiful duochromes, and they're kind of like light, and they just look so yummy on every look I've done so far, especially as highlighters too. This green right here, I have to shout it out before moving on because it's my favorite neon green in my collection. It is so pigmented, and normally whenever I put neons in the inner corner, they will kind of just like disappear throughout the day. No, not with this palette. It stays looking poppin' all day. So yeah, just an overall amazing palette, perfect for the summer. You just look at it and you're like, dang, I kind of want a margarita right now. Okay, so coming in at number 5, this is from Nomad Cosmetics. This is the Safari palette. This one, like I said, was sent to me, and this is what the inside looks like. A very popular color story right now. Super trendy. I have the Odin's Eye Stone and Rock palette in front of me. I just kind of was going to show them while we're here for funsies. Why not? They honestly are completely different in my opinion. I just wanted to note that. This is super like true greens and like muddy, swampy, just, I don't know. It's completely different. It just is. This one is so neutral and yummy with those pops of green with the mustard. I love how they organized it. Amazing. I will say the only critique with this palette, mine in the shade, let's see, Migrating Zebras and Roaring Lines, has a bit of hard pan. These two shades in particular are firmly pressed. So other than that, I just kind of want to show you up close how you can kind of see it's hard pan. But oddly enough, if you dig your brush into it, it still applies beautifully on your lid. So I'm not really complaining because it still performs nice. It's just these two shades I can't go in with my finger. I need to use a brush. And typically I apply my shimmer shades with my finger. So, but either way, it still works fine. I just wanted to note that. So I would like to see Nomad do more softer shimmers, in my opinion, versus these hard pressed. But other than that, I love the mattes in here. This green, I will say, I kind of wish it would deepen up a little, but I can just mix it with the browns. It's kind of more of like a mid-tone green, so, but regardless, love this palette. If this ranking was solely based off which palettes you use the most, oh, this one would be top #1 palette. I've used it so much in so many different looks. I don't even like smoky tones, and this silver is like one of my favorite silvers now. I love the way it looks and shifts, and it has some like purple sparkles too, so I love this palette. It feels so luxe. I don't know. I adore it. I think they killed it with that one. Let's see. Coming in at number 4. This is from Glaminatrix Cosmetics. This is the Into the Night palette. I cannot believe it, guys, but they reached out to me, and now I have an affiliate code with the brand. It's BRITTANYRAE. It made my whole day. I was having such a bad day, and they reached out, and I was like happy tears. Completely changed everything. So this is what the color story looks like. I know not everyone's like obsessed with it, but this is so unique to my collection. I've created so many different looks. Like, they're completely polar opposite looks every single time I go into this, but yet they're all still so pretty and fun. And it's just, I don't know, it's a dark, deep palette, but there's so many different shimmers in here. And I will say that this shimmer formula in particular, it's a step up from their previous palettes. It's just, like, they're almost wet. They glide on. They're extra pigmented, in my opinion. I've gotten a few comments. If you hear thunder, sorry, it's storming pretty bad. But yeah, I've gotten some comments where y'all have said maybe it feels a little bit thinner to you. I think that this formula, it's a bit thicker, so it packs a punch more than their previous palettes. Except for the shade Happy Hour. It's super soft, but it's not as wet as some of the other shades. But yeah, I love the different textures. I love the formula, love the quality, love the packaging. 10 out of 10. This palette really whew, it has inspired me to play with some color. And I don't understand, like, that palette and the Citrus Punch. I've been doing all matte looks with them. Who would have thought? Number 3, this is from Adept Cosmetics, and I've got some opinions on this palette. I was very critical with this during my first impressions because I was just a little taken back because of the formulation, but by no means is this a bad palette. It's still so freaking pretty, beautiful, sparkly, but just keep in mind that I have to review, this is $140, so I'm also very, very hard on Pat McGrath because her palettes are so dang expensive. So I kind of went in mind, I really wanted to be nitpicky with this. Like, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. Because I didn't want to be like, yes, this palette's beautiful, it's sparkly, it's yummy, you need it. That, I'm not about to tell you to spend $140. So just keep that in mind whenever I did my first impressions. I do need to be critical because of the price point. Now let's get into the formula. So this palette, I would have preferred to see one row of mattes because it would have brought the price down, but Adept did say that their number one request was an all special palette, so that's what they gave us right here. And I will say that my number one gripe with this are these two shades right here. They look identical. There might be a little bit, this one right here has a little bit more of purple hues to it, but not much. And the formula is just not my favorite. This isn't like a $140 formula. These two shades and also Low Crown, it's just, I don't know. These three, they're still pretty, but they're just not as high quality, in my opinion, as the other shades. You have, I would say, yeah. And then Big Belly. These four are like the same formulation, and then you have some that are super smooth that are more sheer. This palette is full of iridescent, translucent base shimmer toppers with pastel shifts to it. So if that sounds like something you would like and you want to splurge on a palette, maybe ask for like a birthday present, anniversary, anything like that, just a gift in general, and you like those topper shades, then here you go. I do like how some of them are like super textured. Giraffe, these two pink ones down here, and then Courtship, those are really textured and like thick. So yeah, you do get a nice mix of shades in this palette. I love the shade False Eye. This is so, so beautiful in the inner corner. This is how I've been utilizing this palette. I have been mixing and matching it with all the palettes in front of me all month long. In the inner corners, on top of shades, where you see this beauty the most, it's outside in the sunlight. That's where it just like twinkles and sparkles, and you can see those very soft shifts. So, like I said, if you like, I don't know, more of like a wearable multi-chrome, I think this is the palette for you if you don't mind spending that price tag. And then if you are looking for like a neutral multi-chrome, I don't think it's a multi-chrome, but it is a neutral shimmer. This swirly one, whenever you swirl all the shades together, it's just a really pretty, wearable, beautiful, I don't know, almost champagne with fun pops, like confetti pops in there of all the different colors. You've got blue and pink and gold. It's really a pretty shade. Anyways, that review is probably all over the place, but I did have a lot to say on it because it's so expensive. So yes, I love this palette, but that price point's steep, so I do have to point out all the nitpicky things in there. You know what I'm saying? I love Adept, but I do have to, there are some cons with this palette. Do I love it? Heck yes. I'm glad that I have it, and I'm glad that I got it on sale for 20% off. That's my opinion. Okay, next, number 2. This is from, let's see. Sorry, I had like eyeshadow flakes from the Adept palette. This is from Bella Beaute Bar. This is a smoky glam palette. A large palette, guys. Typically, I do not like large palettes, but I mean, I had to get this. This is a neutral lover's dream who wants to kind of step out of their comfort zone a little, go into some purples. I love how they organized it with like some of the neutrals, the purples, the smokies, the grays. I love this palette. This is the first time I've ever tried the brand, and holy moly, it blew my mind. I already ordered the Strange and Unusual palette because I love this one that much. So the shimmers in here are very buttery, soft. A lot of them are shifty. I would say if you want neutral shifts and you're too scared to go like full-on multi-chromes, these are more wearable shifts in my opinion. Very flattering, work friendly, all the good things. But yeah, I adore the matte formula. It's easy. It's super, super easy. Blendable, but still packs a punch. The only shade that was sheer that I used was the shade Baby Doll. This shade right here, it did take a lot of building up to get it more of like the peachy tone. But all the other ones performed really nice. This black with sparkles, this is the only one that I didn't use as like a matte. I just kind of use that as liner because I'm not a big fan of sparkles in my mattes, but it still performed nicely. The only critique with this palette, or if you have seen the promo pictures, then you would have noticed that some of these tones in here look more olive green leaning and some look gray. Whereas whenever you get it in person, you can definitely see that variation, but once you get them on the eye, they look great. There's no green in my opinion. So I wish that the saturation with the green was a little bit amped up just to add a little bit more versatility versus just getting 2 rows of grays. But hey, it's still a lovely palette and I've still been using it all the time. It is nice and I love it. It's so yummy. I fell in love with the brand, the shimmers. Like, I just can't wait to see what else they come out with, because now I'm like, okay, I'm hooked and I need more, and I can't wait to get this strange and unusual palette. So many of you have been like, girl, get it, it's so nice. I got it. Okay, now let's talk about number 1. This is the Beaute palette from Glaminatrix Cosmetics. This one's no longer available, but hey, I gotta give it to this palette because dang, it is so good. I'm sorry it's no longer available, but I got to just like, I love it. This is so, so nice. I love the color story. Again, Glaminatrix, they are a brand that comes out with very fun color stories that appeal to me. The shimmers in here, my camera battery just died, so apparently I have been talking too long. Anyways, as I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by my camera, the shimmers in here are so yummy, and these two in particular, Multi-Chrome Heaven, so beautiful and shifty, like, it's amazing. And like all this blue and the green, it's like almost like a translucent base, and it just adds a goodness all over your lids. I love this one. Reminds me of Lucid from Adept Cosmetics. It's just like so bright and it leans teal and yellow, and like I love the translucent base, and it flips to like a gold and pink. I don't know, man, I had no idea just how good this palette was until I got it. I love mixing the warms and the cools. This lavender is so good, and like this Old Mate, I mean, let me just swatch while we're here just to show you, like, I love it. Anyways, I'm going to stop raving about it because you can't get it anymore. But as I was saying, I definitely had a huge month of May of diving in new makeup. It was so much fun. So yeah, those are all of the palettes that I tried in the month of May. I did a lot of different looks. I tested out all of these shadows and I had so much fun doing it. Let me know what palettes you have been loving on this month. Let me know, are you getting the Odin's Eye palettes? Are you getting the new Natasha Denona palette? Are you getting the Nomad palette? Because I got all of them. So I'm just so curious. What are y'all into right now? Obviously, like the neutrals, the greens are fun. I don't know. I'm just into everything. I'm loving matte looks. Just let me know down below. What's your vibe right now? But that's going to do it for today's video. Wherever you are in the world, I hope you're doing well. I hope that you are healthy, happy, and safe. Stay beautiful. Bye, guys.